All right. Good evening and welcome to your view. As we round off the year, I thought that it's always good to reflect, on people who have made a difference in our political landscape. We can call them heroes of the year. And I'm sure you got your own heroes of the year, and I'm happy for you to send me your own suggestions of who you consider to be heroes of this year in our political landscape. You can send us, of course, your views on hashtag your view on 405. You can tweet us at JJ Tabane, tweet us at newsroom 405. Who is been a hero for you this year? A lot of people believe that Herman Mashaba, right, is one of the heroes of this year. The former mayor of Johannesburg has shown a bit of principle. In politics, it's scarce. It's scarce, and a lot of his black compatriots have stayed behind in the DA despite a writing on the wall. Okay, you go and look it up. But it says the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall that the DA is going back to the Laha. And so Herman wasted no time. As soon as he saw the return of Godzilla, a return that was, poo-pooed by the powers that be in the DA, as no return at all. But no, she's just going to be in the background. She's just going to clean toilets and so on. Go tell that to the birds. Herman Mashaba saw through it and said, hey, I'm leaving. And of course, he must be a hero to many ANC members who have been starving for the last 3 years. And now they are back on the pound seat of Johannesburg. He must be a hero because he cost the DA that municipality. Herman Mashaba, one of the heroes of this year. I'm sure he won't be lost to our politics. Because maybe our political landscape need people who are less of politicians and more of servants of the people. And please don't misunderstand me. I don't think Herman is a perfect chap. I think that his location within the DA was his first mistake. That he should have, if he wanted to serve the people of Johannesburg, he should have done what he threatens to do now. Go ask Herman Mashaba and say to the people of Joburg, I want to serve you. Because it's clear that once robed in political garments, people tend to be loyal to those political garments more than loyal to the people. Herman Mashaba, certainly my own hero of 2019. And I'm sure many people can attest to that. From those who suddenly have a decent work in the city of Joburg when they never had to those who now can feel safer because under his watch he added 1,500 police officers to the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. It's not stuff we can just brush aside. So well done to Herman Mashaba. The second hero of this year for me is the competition. Fantastic commissioner, my friend Bonakele, Thembinkosi Bonakele, who has trailed the blaze this year, ending it on a big bang by saying to the cell phone operators, data must fall. Data has become the new currency of doing anything. From a small business to a big corporation, data drives information, and information is power. So well done to Thembinkosi Bonakele and his competition commission for the good work of keeping corporates accountable. We have seen, even in this year, where the health inquiry was concluded as one of the big achievements of that commission, showing us and telling us what we already knew, that the health industry players are like the cell phone companies, a bunch of greedy guys. Greedy. Or they charge you an arm and a leg, and in fact, you need to forgive the pun. Because in the health sector, indeed, you can be cost your arm and your leg if you don't get proper medical attention. That's what these guys charge you. They are you know, their charges were shown to be so out of sync with international norms and standards that can only be described as a bloody scandal. The likes of Discovery Health at the front line of trying to stop that inquiry by going to court and delaying and all of this, only to increase their own premiums just ahead of that market inquiry coming up, because they anticipated the backlash that's going to be there. I therefore don't sympathize much with them when Zweli Mkhize is saying that their days may well be numbered. They must start finding something else to do, and I can see Discovery has done that. Now they've got a bank, they've got an insurance, that they are diversifying because they have realized that they can only drink from the blood of South Africans so far, in as far as health is concerned. I don't have time for them. Competition Commission pointing a finger at them. The same way that it pointed the finger at the likes of Tiger Brands, who had no shame but to collude over something as basic as the price of bread. Literally taking bread out of the mouths of children. Competition Commission, our hero of the year. Please do keep up that good work. I want to talk about the gift of the givers. I don't know whether you have paid attention to what the gift of the givers have been doing. But this year, they also try to get involved in the tragic situation that's unfolding with the refugees that have been in the Cape Town church, I think now for close to 40 or more days. The gift of the givers were that those refugees have something to eat and so on. Of course, they had to withdraw once they realized that there doesn't seem to be cooperation from the refugees themselves. But that is not the focus. The focus is the whole issue of giving. In this country, 16 million people go to bed hungry. 16 million people live without knowing where their next meal is going to come from. And the question is, how come that in the same country there are people who are dying from diseases of gluttony? In the same country, where people are dying of diseases of lifestyle, of too much drinking, too much smoking, too much eating. And next door to you, somebody is starving and they go to bed hungry. It must shame us as a country. And so the gift of the givers are beginning to prick our conscience to say, what am I doing to give of what I have to those less privileged? To me. In Harangua, there's a big church, a huge church. I don't remember what it is called. That church should be lucky not for me not to remember. It's a big church. And this church is built in the front of a row of houses, amongst which 50% are child-headed households. There are children there whose parents have died long ago, who now live in those houses and in surrounding informal settlements. And in that church, they people. Criminal conduct. They have not given one slice of bread to someone who lives across that road from that church. Someone who's starving next door to that church has not received one slice. One slice of bread. I agree from that church. Yet the priest of that church, you've got to be ashamed of yourself. You've got to be ashamed of yourself. A whole man of God who's been dragged through courts for money laundering in the broad daylight. And in that same church, there are amongst these 16 million people who are starving, amongst those who go there to put in a collection plate for him to live a life of luxury, who has no shame to go and buy a Maserati for his 6-year-old daughter, just rubbing the poverty in the faces of his own congregants. Bloody shame, bloody scoundrel. So, when you highlight what the gift of the givers do, that they are not even using a religious platform. Forget about the faith of their leader. They are not using a religious platform. They are just pricking the conscience of you and I this year as the heroes of this year. Of the givers. They are a channel of God's work and God's peace. That's what we need to be asking ourselves. As we go into the festive season, song and dance, and jingle bells and all of these things, ask yourself, what of your largesse have you given away to someone less privileged than yourself? Or you have made it. You have made it. Keep black economic empowerment. But hey, it's the survival of the fittest. And God for us all. Gift of the givers, heroes of the year. There are many of these heroes, and I wanted to, in a media space, the media has been under huge attack for its credibility, and someone like Makudi Sefara, who's just taken over the Sunday World to turn it into a decent publication, was not afraid to call out the ministers of this state for their shenanigans. Minister Gwede Mantashe has to be ashamed to have to be called out by a newspaper man for trying to bribe journalists. Gwede Mantashe. Shameful stuff. But you must commend somebody like Makudi Sefara for standing his ground and publishing against powerful people in this country. Like a Gwede Mantashe, like a Tito Mboweni, like the president himself. We need more of people like that in our newsrooms who will have no favor, no fear in exposing the scoundrels of this society. Well, I've run out of time, but you can send me your views about who you think are the heroes of 2019.
That is JJ there with Heroes of 2019. And of course, he can't help himself but sneak in a few scoundrels that he would like to say a few choice words that are reserved especially for them. And we do hope that those scoundrels are going to be left in 2019 and their antics. We don't want to see that going with us in 2020, right? It's one of those things that we really don't want to see. Unemployment sitting at 29.1%, something that we really don't want to see. An economy that is not growing, something that we really don't want to see, that we hope stays in 2019 and doesn't go with us into 2020. And then we are going to do a preview of some of the upcoming interviews in the next hour as well. One with the Deputy Minister of Finance, that is David Masondo, as well as former chairperson of South African Airways, Dudu Mieni. Stay with us, more after the break.